What's going on, everybody? My name is Kiontre Daniels, and we are here at KD Speaks Podcast, and I am the host. And I just want to welcome you for our first episode. That's right, our first episode. We are launching. We are kicking this thing off. And I want to invite you, to listen in, to join in, to share with somebody, especially if you enjoyed today's episode specifically, because it's going to be powerful, right? It's going to be so powerful. It's going to impact your life. It's going to change your life. I can guarantee you, if you listen to some of the things that we talk about and we discuss here, your life will be changed. Your situation will be changed. And that's what I want to propagate to anybody that's out there. If you're listening, I want you to be inspired. I want you to be motivated. I want you to come in and I want your thoughts to be challenged. I want your environment to be challenged. I want your income to be challenged. I want your marriage to be challenged, right? I want all of those things to be challenged when you come here and you sit down and you listen, whether you're on the train, whether you're on the bus, whether you're going to work, whatever you're doing, right? In a commute, in the morning, you're cooking, you're in the shower, you might be laying down at night, right? If you lay down at night and listen to this, you might want to go work out because we're just going to get that inspired, right? That is the goal, to be inspired. So I just wanted to share that with y'all because, I've seen a lot of things out in this world that can tear you down. I've seen a lot of things that can cause you to be depressed, that can cause you to be anxious, just between social media and different things that are going on in this life, right? But life is already hard enough. So why go and listen to something that's going to bring you down even more? So I just want to welcome you, to be uplifted. I want to welcome you to let you know that this is a place where you can be safe, where you can be open, you can be vulnerable, and allow yourself to be motivated, allow yourself to be inspired, and to be lifted up, picked up, and even challenged, right? Don't forget the challenge part. It's great to be inspired. It's great to be motivated. But at the end of the day, you want to be challenged. And I try to challenge myself, okay? I don't want to just push the envelope with you, but I've learned to challenge myself. And one of the things I learned from challenging myself is we don't really know our full potential, okay? We don't know our full potential. And our full potential has not even been imagined, all right? I want you to stop and take a moment and think about that. Your full potential has not even been realized. It hasn't even been a thought yet. Again, we have ideas, we have dreams, we have aspirations, we have goals. But at the end of the day, it comes down to this. Our best version of ourselves has not been exposed, has not been realized, has not been actualized, has not been implemented, has not functioned probably ever, or does not exist yet. Right? We haven't had the right circumstances. We haven't had the right conversation. We haven't had the right friends or, peers or family members or different situations that we've all come from. All walks of life are welcome. And I want you to know that this is where you can come and desire to be your best self. This is where you can come and you want to have a better vocabulary. You want to dress nice. You want to have a certain income. You want your marriage to be loving and fruitful and your kids to be obedient. When you tell them something, you want them to take out the trash. You want them to wash the dishes. This is where you want to come to receive what it is you need, whether it be the juice, the energy, the inspiration, the motivation, the instruction, whatever it is, the how-to. I want this to be a place for you, okay? I want you to come on in and I want you to be a part of this community because we are a community. Those of us who have this mindset, those of us who want better, those of us who long for more. That's right, more. I'm very content with where I am, but I'm not satisfied. And you're listening to this and you're just not satisfied in some things in your life. You're listening to this and you want more. You desire more, right? You want more out of yourself, but you reach almost like a plateau. You're listening to some things, you're reading some things, or maybe this is your first podcast. I want to welcome you, and I want this to be a great, great, great experience for you. That's right, you. This is all about you, okay? It is all about you. Don't forget that. So as we're listening, don't forget for 1 second. I might talk about myself, but it's all about you. I'm here to just let you know that you can do it. whatever that thing is, whatever that dream is, whatever that goal is, whatever the achievement or milestone is, you can do it. You can go beyond the barriers. You can break past limitations. You can cancel limiting mindsets and limiting beliefs that you have, right? That is very, very, very important, right? Our mindset and everything that we do is going to have a huge role in how we move forward, okay? It will have a huge impact, a very, very great impact. And one of the things that has helped my mindset is faith, right? Faith is so important in my life because it's the substance of what I hope for. It is the evidence. It is the evidence. It is the fruit. It is the receipt in which I live by, right? So what does that look like? Okay, when I have faith, okay, I hope to get paid after 2 weeks of working my job. After I've completed 80 hours, right, in a regular 40-hour work week, okay? Every 2 weeks you get paid bi-weekly. You get paid every 2 weeks. At the end of that pay period, you expect, right, you hope to receive compensation for 80 hours. And we live our lives accordingly, right? We spend a certain way. We budget a certain way for those of us that budget. If you don't, we'll talk about that in the near future, okay? You spend a certain way. You think a certain way, right? You don't live frantically because you know, hey, I'm working and I have an expected end. I expect to receive my salary, my hourly wage times 80 hours. Now, if you knew that you were going to receive less than, you might operate a little bit differently, right? So when I hope to lose weight, when I hope to communicate to my wife that I love her, when I hope to achieve my goal, everything about me has to say, this is my goal. My actions, my language, my behavior, my focus, my intent, my character, the time that I have of leisure and free time. And when I want to sit down and I want to stop and I want to take a break, I have to remind myself of my goal. I have to remind myself of what it is I'm trying to achieve. And I want to ask you right now, what is it that you're trying to achieve? What is it that you want out of this life? What is it that you want out of yourself? What is it that you want out of your career? We have to come to a clear understanding of ourselves, what our expectation is, right? And faith being the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of what's not seen. Even though I have not officially, right? I have not officially attained my goal. I have not officially or properly been able to communicate to my wife at the level that I desire to, right? Sometimes I communicate, sometimes I don't. I'm not always good at it, right? But it's a work in progress. And I see a goal and I have a goal. And in regards to speaking to my wife, I want to be able to open my mouth and I want my tone. I want my body language. I want my mannerisms, right? Even the very words that I decide to choose, I wanted to convey a message that is so filled, so full with love. I want my tone, just everything that I say, the pace that I say it, even down to the enunciation and the proclamation in which I say it. That's right. Everything about it, I want my wife to know that I love her, right? But sometimes, because of how we were raised, sometimes when we have two different backgrounds and we come together and we try to be one bone, one flesh, it's a challenge. Sometimes it's not always communicated, even though it's not my intent. So my goal, right, is to be able to allow myself to communicate to her, allow myself to be able to show her that I love her through my words, through my actions. But the evidence in my life, right, is the substance of things hoped for. I hope to be able to achieve that one day. So the evidence is I'm going to work towards it. I'm going to read books about communication. I'm going to understand what it is that I'm conveying as I'm speaking. I like to talk with my hands, right? But to some people, that might be aggressive bodily language. Now, what am I talking about here? Am I talking about you being married? Am I talking about you being single or communication? No. I'm letting you know that the goal that you have, it should be aligned in your life. Everything that you do, everything that you say, everything that you think must be in alignment with what you're trying to achieve. Everything that you do must be in alignment with what you're trying to achieve. So if you're sitting down and you're listening to this, I want you to write that down and take some notes, because it's very critical, right? It's very critical that we get in alignment with what we say. And what we say out of our mouths can be very powerful if we allow our actions and our thinking to get in alignment with what we say. Many of us are living a life right now, currently at this moment, whatever stage you're in, we are in the product. We are in the very result of what we have said out of our mouths. We are in the product. We are living in the result of what we have said, what we have communicated, what we have expressed out of our mouths. Now, when we begin to understand the power of our words and our mind yields to what comes out of our mouth, our mind yields to what we listen to, right? When we have that type of understanding, then we'll make every attempt. We'll put forth the best effort, right, to communicate what it is we actually want. We want to communicate a positive outcome. We want to speak life and not death. We want to speak, hallelujah, blessings. We want to speak victory. We want to speak triumph. We want to speak, I can overcome this. Even though this is hard, I'm going to get through this, right? So we know and we understand. We know and we understand that faith is the substance of things hoped for. My hope and my expectation causes me to behave in such a way, and everything about me will be in alignment. So I want to ask you, the things that you say you want, right? You say you want this, or you say you want that. Just take a moment and think about it. Give me three things. Three things. I want you to think about it right now. Just take a moment. Take a moment, and I want you to really think about what it is you say you want. Okay? What is it that you say you want? And most importantly, when you say that you want this thing, when you talk about it, you talk to your family, you talk to your friends, you say, oh yeah, I want to do this. Oh yeah, I want to lose this amount of weight. Or I want this six pack. Or I want to try this new plan, this new goal. I want to take this course. I want to go back to school. I want to go for this promotion. I want to take my family on vacation. Whatever it is for you, are your actions truly in alignment? Are your actions truly in alignment? We have to know that. We have to understand. We must understand. It's critical. It is so critical that we understand if our actions are correlating with what we say, with what we speak, with what we think. Are they all in alignment? So when we know what it is we say that we want, our actions shall correspond and be in alignment. All right. The next thing I want to give you guys before we get out of here is when we say that this is our goal, this is the milestone that we want to hit, this is the target that we want to hit, we have to become familiar, right? We have to familiarize ourselves with the actual amount of effort. I want you to say that again with me. The actual amount of effort, okay? So for those of you that didn't say it, we're going to do it again. The actual amount of effort, right? The amount of effort that it takes to achieve said goal. The actual amount of time that it might take, because we can't always make time specific. If I want to lose 10 pounds in 7 days, can it be done? Maybe. But if I fall short in 7 days and I hit it on the 8th day or the 9th day, right, I still achieved the goal, but it's not the time frame. So what does it actually look like? What is the usual time frame? What is the average? So we get familiar with the time frame. What is the average amount of energy? Okay? Energy and effort is two different things. You can try hard on the first day, but when you tried hard on the first day, the second day, you don't have the same amount of energy. You're still recovering from the first day. So that's going to affect our timeline. So when we start to think about what we're saying out of our mouths and we actually begin to meditate on our goal, and then the next thing I want you guys to realize is we need to go and find someone who is coming back from where we're trying to go. I'll say that again. We need to find someone who is coming back from where we are trying to go. What does that look like? I used to ask people for directions to places that they've never been. Some of you are having ideas. Some of you have dreams. Some of you have goals. Whatever it is, right? You're asking people who don't have any clue with what you're talking about. But they're still, great intentions. They mean well, but they'll try to talk to you about it. They'll try to advise you about it. And I want to discourage you in this way to go and get that advice from those people. Because we want to be under wise counsel, right? Wise counsel. And it is not wise for someone who has no experience, who has not read upon, they have not studied, they have not done any due diligence. They're doing you a disservice, even though they mean well. They mean you very well. They want you to obtain it. The other thing is, you want to see a good idea be crushed, introduce it to a small mind. Introduce a great idea to a small mind, and they will easily tear you down. They'll tell you all the reasons why you can't. They'll tell you all the cons and no pros. They'll tell you all the disadvantages and not name any advantages. And once we start to realize and separate those types of people, then we can further align ourselves with what we said out of our mouths, right? So now we understand and we have a clear visual of when we say that we want something and we go forward to try to attain it. We're going to familiarize ourselves with a certain group of people who are already living this life, who have already done it, right? We're going to stop and think the time, the energy, and the effort of what it actually takes to move forward in this type of goal, to move forward in this type of accomplishment. Do I need training? Do I need a coach? Do I need a mentor? That's very important. Will I need an accountability partner? Who's going to hold me accountable? Do I allow people to hold me accountable? These are things that are oftentimes hindrances and obstacles for most people to get what they say they want. Now, when I say, hey, let's go get what we want, it's not about just you and I. It's not just about our goals and our dreams, but understanding this. The life that I imagine and that I desire, right, and most of us do, will put us in a position to help bless the people closest to us, to help bless our neighbors, and then help bless our community. We can affect schools. We can affect our county, our city, our state, our nation, our country, and the world at large. But it starts with us. We have to change. We have to align ourselves with what we're saying out of our mouth. And what I'm seeing in the world is so many people want different things, right? So many people want so much out of this life, but they want to put in the minimum amount of effort, right? They want to put in the minimum amount of effort, but they want the biggest result. They want the biggest outcome. They want the biggest paycheck and doing the least amount of work, right? No effort involved, no time involved, no energy involved, no passion involved. And I just really think that it's sad, because what you put in is what you will get out. You reap what you sow. It's just a natural law. It's a natural law that the Creator has put in place. You reap what you sow. So what you put in, you will get out. So if you put in time, you're going to get time back. You put in energy, you're going to get energy back, right? You put in effort, you're going to get effort back. And whatever the compensation is, it doesn't always have to be money, but whatever the compensation is, it takes time, energy, and effort to read a book and attain something from it, to understand and to comprehend. It takes time, energy, and effort to read 100 pages, to read 20 pages, to read 25 pages on a consistent basis. But guess what? You're expanding your mind. You're expanding your knowledge banks. You're expanding the way that you think and your perspective. You're adding to yourself. So now you can better serve your community. You can better serve your neighbors. You can be more considerate, right? Because of that type of labor, that type of work, it requires something of you. It requires something of you. And so many of us, we want what we want, but nothing required of us. How can this be? How is it so that we want so much out of this life and don't want to put in the work? We don't want to put in the work. And one of the things I want you to understand here is the education, the inspiration, the motivation, that's on me when you come here. When you come to this podcast, I want you to feel better. I want you to feel uplifted. Whatever you were dealing with before you turn this on, I want this to be a place to where you like, oh yeah, we're going to turn on KD Speaks today and let's get fired up. I know I'm struggling right now, but I need a little bit of juice right now. And you turn it on and you put in your headphones, you put in your AirPods, you put in your beats, whatever you have, whatever it is. You turn that thing on and you know you're going to get motivated. You know you're going to get fired up. You know you're going to get stirred up. And you're like, okay, I can go a little bit more. I can go a little bit longer. I can do a little bit better. Yeah, you're right. I need to press in a little longer. I can't give up. My community is counting on me. I can't give up. My children are counting on me. I can't give up. My spouse is counting on me. I cannot give up. I cannot give in. I cannot quit. I cannot surrender. I cannot stop. I cannot wave the white flag. I cannot do it. So I will keep going. I will keep working. I will keep putting in the time. I will, hallelujah, keep pressing towards the goal. I will keep pressing towards the high mark because there's a calling towards that mark. There's a calling. Where that mark is, there's a calling. And it requires you to become a better person. It requires you to change and develop and grow and mature into a new you. But so many of us want to stay the same. So many of us want to stay who we are, but we still want this lofty goal. And it doesn't even have to be lofty. But so many of us want to do the bare minimum. Why is that? Why? Ask yourself why. Think about that. I really want you to think about that. Why? And if it's not you, it might be the people around you. And if you show me your friends, I can show you your future. I'll say that again. If you can show me your friends, I can show you your future. This isn't fortune telling. It isn't palm reading. It isn't anything of the sort. But if you show me the people that you hang around, the people that you allow to be close to you, the people who you call on a frequent or often basis, I can show you your future. And you wonder why you don't have what you don't have. You wonder why you feel stuck. You wonder why you're caught up in the routine of life. Oh, that's a good one right there. The routine of life. I've watched it drag so many people. I watched the routine of life get so many people almost on like a hamster wheel. They keep going and doing the same thing, but they're tired. When I go places, whether it's the airport, it might be a fast food restaurant, it might be, going to the grocery store, and I see so many people who are burdened down by life. There's no passion. There's no interest. There's no desire to even be there, even though this is the very thing that provides them a resource for them to live the life that they're living. And one of the things I have been able to develop my mind and allow myself to see, right? I didn't always have this perspective, but I grew and I developed, right, into this. What I see now and how I think about it is the same passion and energy about my dreams and my goals, and when I'm talking about it and when I'm excited about it, is the same amount of time, energy, and effort, the same passion, the same interest that I'm going to have when I show up to my job every single day. Why? Because I won't always be here. Why? Because I understand if I continue to grow, I understand if I continue to develop, because I will continue to develop, I will not always be here. And I'm very intentional and I'm very deliberate about what it is I'm trying to do, what it is I'm trying to obtain. And like I said, what comes out of your mouth should reflect in your actions. It should reflect in how you think. It should reflect in the very language that you speak. Notice a few moments ago I said if, but I had to change the language. My words are so powerful. And that's one of the things. If you don't get anything else, I want you to understand that your words are powerful. It can literally change the way that you think. It can change your circle of friends just by changing some vocabulary, right? Even if you don't necessarily believe what you're saying, what can change your belief is what's coming out of your mouth, right? So it's not if I don't have to work anymore. It's when I don't have to work anymore. And I know that. I'm able to hold myself accountable. But if you're not in that position yet, I want to encourage you. I want to employ you to go out and find people who will hold you accountable. I want you to let people know until somebody says, oh, yeah, I can do that. And allow them to hold you accountable. But I did not always have that mindset. So when I see people at the grocery store and they're like, hey, how you doing? Or they don't even greet you, right? They don't even have any type of customer service, and you're in a customer service position. People don't really understand. They don't see the opportunity because nobody's dangling a carrot in their face. Nobody's dangling $1 million saying, hey, if you have a good attitude, we're going to give you a raise. That's what people want. People want to be motivated by external things. But we have to understand that the external reward is going to take an internal force to move us to achieve it. The external cannot always achieve the external. But most of the times what a lot of us want, it takes something down on the inside. Something down on the inside that says, you know what? I have a reason why. It might be your spouse. It might be your marriage. It might be your children or your business. It might be your career. It might be your health. Whatever that thing is, I need you to know and understand and make it clear. Why am I doing what I'm doing? And even if you don't understand, let's get a good attitude about it. Even though I might be in the routine of life, let me decide to have a better perspective. Let me decide to have, positive thoughts. Let me decide to have these things. And when we make a decision, a lot more will become clear. When we make a decision, we begin to understand and break out of the routine of life. When we make a decision, we don't allow people to speak negatively about our goals. We stand up for ourselves. We stand up for our goals. We stand up for our community. We stand up for our neighbors, right? Because ultimately, when you begin to talk negatively about what I'm thinking or what I desire, right? It's not me that you're coming against. It's not my goal that you're coming up against. But my internal motivation is for my neighbors. It's for my family. It's for the generations to come after me. It's for those people. That's who I'm thinking about, and that's why I can go the route, with the intent, with the deliberateness, with all the things that I'm doing. I can continue to go and be consistent. I can be dedicated because it's not about me, right? And I mentioned a lot of this stuff because a lot of it is the reward. The material things, that's the reward from doing it. That's going to come. But if we're not consistent, if we're not committed, if we're not dedicated, right, to something bigger than us, something that should be on the inside, right, the reason why we're doing what we're doing. I don't know about you, but I really want to have my children in a position that was different than what I had when I was growing up. And I didn't grow up bad, but it could be better. I didn't grow up bad, but I take responsibility upon myself to make it better. I put the burden on me. I put the weight and the assignment on me. I accepted the role. I accepted the responsibility. I'm taking ownership. I take accountability. So what will you take? What will you take? What will you take? Will you take responsibility? Will you take accountability? Will you take ownership? What will you take? What will you take? What will you take? And that's what I want to leave you with. What will you take? Will you take responsibility? Will you take ownership for what comes out of your mouth? Will you take responsibility for your actions, for your thinking, being in alignment with what you say? Will you take responsibility for the people that you allow to hang around you that don't have anything to do with your goals? Will you take responsibility for the community, the neighborhood, the city, the county, the state, or even the nation, country, or the world? Will you take responsibility? And I want to leave y'all with that. So I'll see you next time. Thank you guys for listening to KD Speaks Podcast. I am the host, Kiontre Daniels, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to take responsibility. Don't forget to allow your actions to be in alignment with your words.